Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube! My name is SeaRaptor, and it's time to bring you the next chapter in the ongoing saga of Raptor tries to learn how not to suck in aircraft carriers. Now, I'm going to warn you, going into this game, this is not a pretty game. You are going to see me make a lot of really dumb plays in this game. However, Raptor, why are you showing me you playing terrible? Well, I'm showing you this because I'm trying to point out something, right? It's when you look at the information that Wargaming put out about the CV rework panel, the panel that we attended in St. Petersburg, one of their primary goals was to reduce the influence that an aircraft carrier had on a match. Let me tell you something. For a Tier 8 game, I didn't feel like I had a whole lot of impact on this match. But there's a couple of key moments where I'm able to spot at the right time, or force an opponent to maneuver, or they opt to maneuver against me when they shouldn't have, that turn out to be pretty big. And I'm going to point those out as we get there, even though at the end of the game, I don't look like I've done a whole lot. We start out here with the rocket planes, like I always do. And this Benson has his AA on. Well, if he's going to light himself up for me, I'll happily oblige him by throwing some rockets his way. And he does the right thing, he turns away, he gets narrow, but I still get a decent strike in. Like, I can't really complain about 3K when he's that narrow to me. I do look like I'm going to try and I'm trying to maneuver and get back in, but eventually I'm like, nah, let me just keep scouting, right? Rather than take the second attack, I want to keep scouting and see what else is over here. Because remember, that's the main reason that I bring out the rocket planes early, is to scout the enemy team and get an idea of their disposition. I'm turning the wrong way when the Hatsu pops up in the bottom end of the C cap. And this guy and I are going to have a little merry war throughout this game. It's not going to be the last time you see him. But it will be the first time. I don't ding him here. I do decide, though, that I'm gonna loop around, line up for another run, and try for the blind reset because, well, I mean, why not, right? I don't know where the Aki is, and I'd rather try and reset this cap early. So we go for the blind reset, and it works out. We managed to ding him with one rocket, so it slows him down a little bit. I pull the rest of the strike out, not really expecting to get much out of those last two planes, and we get going. So now I again reach for the rocket planes. I know my goal here is I'm trying to back up this Farragut in D. I know the Benson's still over there. The Atago can get a little squishy to these things, but the Farragut decides he's going to try and smoke up in camp, and well, in the end, that may not work out too well for him. Because while he manages to dodge the Benson torpedoes, he does a very, 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 very poor job of dodging the Atago torpedoes. And just like that, we're down a ship. Now, the Benson is apparently still in his smoke. Certainly with his AA on, possibly with his DF pop, so I kind of pull these planes back a bit. I'm not going to try and waste my time striking a target I can't see with his DF up. And, well, we blow that off. So, we reach for the AP bombs. I take a look at the map. I realize there's a lone Scharnhorst over there, kind of all by himself. Not really a tremendous amount of support nearby. Looks like he's pushing up. Well, why don't we go punish him with the AP bombs? Because we know Enterprise's AP bombs do nasty, nasty things to German battleships. Now, it's a bit of a hike over there. But I have to admit, I'm kind of concerned because all of the ships that we have on this half of the map, literally everything west of the 5 line, is all in the 1 line. These guys basically have a free run to our cap. They've got the inside track here. The Scharnhorst turns away, so now getting to him is a much more challenging proposition. The Helena pops up, but he and the Vanguard together make a very, very unappetizing AA target. I know the Vanguard's AA is good. Vanguard is a squishy target, but I don't want to have to deal with his AA. They managed to put the hood down, and so now there's everybody on that side of the map is literally on the 1 line, and they're grossly, grossly outnumbered. About 2-1. Our Cleveland and Duke of York on the 9 line aren't very all that useful at the moment. Cleveland's almost in position to be useful, but the Duke of York is absolutely not useful at all. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll go back the other way with my AP bombs. And the Benson pops up. Now, I'm obviously not going to try to bomb him, but I do see the Atago. I know I can citadel the Atago. Here's where I make a mistake. The Atago puts up his fighter, and rather than push through the attack Since I'm already in his AA range, I loop around, allow the fighter time to get set, and then come in again. This is a straight-up misplay. Once the Atago was there and I saw him, and I should have just pressed home the attack and taken what I could get, because I'm going to lose a bunch more planes for my trouble. Now, I am going to land a pretty solid hit on this guy, but it's going to be the only attack that I get out of that squadron, and I don't manage to salvage basically any of those planes. So if I'd played that a little smarter, I might have been able to get more out of it. Maybe even another attack run, certainly get some of those planes home, but bad misplay on my part cost me a squadron. And that's one of the things that, as it should be. In the new system, if you misplay, you attack the wrong target, you put yourself in a bad position, chances are you're going to lose all your planes, or at least lose a healthy chunk of them. So now I reach for the torpedo bombers, and at this point, I honestly don't really know where to go, right? Our board position as a team is so whack. And there's no obvious target that I can really go for. I start to kind of like, all right, well, let me go for like this North Carolina over here. He's way out of position. But then I look at him like, the guy's on 6,000 HP. By the time I get there, he'll be dead. The other North Carolina is camped snuggled up to the island, but I know the Benson and the Atago are right there on top of him, so that doesn't sound like a great idea. Maybe I should try for the Vanguard? Ugh, team is just melting. There really aren't any good ships in a good position to strike, and now the Hatsu has done something very intelligent. He's pushed straight up through the B cap and is now in the bottom end of A, because everybody on that half of the map isn't anywhere near the cap. Why should he not? Why should he not, right? So I'm like, well, I'm not going to try and torpedo the Hatsu. I'll try and torpedo the Vanguard, I guess. So I take a run. Vanguard, smart guy, maneuvers, puts his bow to me, doesn't want to take too many torpedoes. Don't blame him. His AA is pretty good, but why take damage when you don't have to? I still get a drop off and think, okay, all right, well, now I'm going to try and salvage what I can of this run. Maybe I'll go strike this with a NorCal Hal. So I'll, maneuver around and try and salvage these guys, but the Helena and the Vanguard are just wrecking my squadron. And it becomes painfully obvious that I'm not going to get anything to survive to the North Carolina, so we end that adventure. And of course now, here we are, 7.5 minutes in the game, 6 ships are already dead, and we're down over 300 points. Because, apparently, every team in World of Warships these days has no idea how to stay alive. Have you guys noticed this problem? This is a problem I've been having a lot. A lot. Right? You look up and 5 minutes are gone and half your team's dead. Literally, already, half your team's dead. What? You're driving a 65,000 point battleship with 4 heals. How did you die? Never mind. I don't know. I know the Hatsu's in A. I grab the rockets. I go back looking for him. I don't really expect to find him. It's a big ocean. He's a small target. But as I get a little closer, I'm also trying to kind of get a sense of the disposition of where the battleships behind him are. But as I get a little closer, I do stumble across him. All right, well, sure. Let's get a run in. The Scharnhorst is close enough to provide AA support for him. So I get a little antsier than I should have. I really should swing out to about 3.5 clicks before I start this run in. I started a little too soon. And I really don't get a good drop reticle on here. I only chip him with like 1 rocket. Yeah. That was absolutely not worth it for just 1 plane, right? So I keep telling myself mentally, all right, take your time, 3.5. Here we go. 3.5 is where to start this run. This is going to be a better run. I can see it already. He's broadside to me. I've got full time to get the reticle down. And I blow the drop because he turns his stern out of it. But rockets are so easy to use, right? Yeah, totally. So now, over 400 points down, 9 minutes gone. Oh, there we go. We closed the gap up a bit. I have 20,000 damage. I've done almost nothing this game. And the Hatsu is now taunting me. And I'm kind of, inwardly as I'm playing this game, I'm seething. I'm just like, come on, this is flat out ridiculous. Again, I grab the AP bombs. I'm thinking, okay, Scharnhorst is out there. I don't know who's with him. I don't know how far he's pushed up, but surely I have the opportunity to get in here and put some AP bombs on this Scharnhorst. The team, in the meantime, has pushed through D and done a really brilliant job of sweeping up the Atago, the Benson, both North Carolinas that were down there. They're all dead. And so we're nearly caught back up on ships, but of course we're way down on points and still behind on a cap. Vanguard's AA, he's irritating, starts to blink away at me as I try to line up for a run on the Scharnhorst, but now he's turned south. So now I have to kind of go a long way around and try to get the long, the stern to bow run on him here. And the Prinz Eugen is irritatingly close, and I know just as well as anybody that Eugen's AA is pretty decent. The Hatsu's still in here somewhere. This is going to be an ugly run. So, coming in from astern's not what I want, but it's what I've got, so we're trying it. We're pushing through, speed boosting through the whole run, and my squadron simply melts. Yep. Between the flak and everything else, I managed to survive 2 planes to drop, and... RNG laughs. Dive bombers, in general, are in kind of a rough place right now. So, yeah. They don't get the damage reduction. In fact, apparently, nobody's getting the damage reduction right now, depending on which version of the AA mechanics you believe. But now, what's about to happen next kind of redeems my game a little bit in my eyes. You see the Kiev south of my squadron. He's the only friendly ship still on the northern half of the map. And he's continuing to harass this Vanguard. In fact, he has a torp salvo in on this Vanguard. Now, I'm trying to maneuver my squadron for a strike on this Vanguard, but I also know that as I go in on this Vanguard, he's going to turn his bow to me. If I time this right, I can set him up so that he'll dodge my torps, but eat the Kiev. And as it turns out, that's exactly how this plays out. Yeah, I dropped mine, but sorry, buddy. That didn't work out for you. So even when not doing damage, a carrier has the opportunity to force plays like that. Yeah, put a torp into your rotting corpse. Congratulations. Well, I've still got some torp planes in the air, and now I look at and I see the Bismarck on the south side of the B cap in this duel with the Prinz Eugen, and I decide I want to go help. So, we speed boost, get into the war. I want to get down here and put torps into this Prinz Eugen. I want to try and help out this Bismarck as best I can before he gets torpedoed, because he's at close range with something that can actually deliver that knockout punch to him. We do go in for the run here. I'm only going to get the 1 drop off. His A is decent. The flak is a little rough. There's a lot of ships around. The Scharnhorst is close aboard. Apparently, he gets hammered pretty hard by something, but I do manage to sneak a torp into him and steal the kill at the last second. So, kind of helping the team out a little bit there. Free kill. We're up a ship now, still down a cap. The gap is only 200 points. I grab the rockets. I'm trying to help the Kiev now with this Helena. Helena is a light cruiser. My rockets can pen light cruisers. Helena's AA is not bad, but it's not amazeballs, so I feel pretty good that if I can get a couple runs on this guy, I can chunk him down or make this, at minimum, make this Kiev's life a lot easier. He puts out the fire right as I start my attack run. I get a really good salvo off. 15 full pens, 2 fires, and, yep, he's off the board now, too. We lose the Bismarck, but we retain the 1-ship lead while still down a cap. So, still trying to be relevant in this game. Still under 30,000 damage with 14 minutes gone, basically. 13 minutes gone. But, so trying to be useful here. So, we take the few remaining rocket planes that I've got here in for a run on the Duke of York because, well, why not? I can't see the Hatsu. He's back there somewhere. I know he's in the smoke. I just don't know where. Some chip damage here or there, but I pull them out because they're just not very useful. And the Duke of York is stationary. He's not really moving, so I'm like, well, if he's going to sit still, I have the cure for that, and let's grab the TBF torpedo bombers. The Kiev, to his credit, this Kiev played a fantastic game. I gave him a compliment when we got back to port because he and I kind of tag team, without even speaking, just kind of work this northern flank as best we could to keep these guys busy and occupied. We're now up 2 ships, and the Cleveland... Our Cleveland is chasing down their Enterprise south of the B cap, while the Massachusetts is sandwiching the Hatsu and the Duke of York, who are both trapped in the C cap. I'm trying to get around and get a torpedo run out on this Duke of York. I'm trying to, help out the Kiev and the Massachusetts, who are both shooting at this guy. I'm sorry, the Massachusetts was shooting at the Enterprise. So he's off the board now as well. That narrows the gap to, briefly, slightly less than 100 points, but we're still down a cap. Now, the Duke of York, he can see me coming. Clearly, he knows that I'm not out here just for to look around. So as we start the run, he's going to turn his engines on and make the effort to try and angle against this drop to take as little damage as he can. Of course, just like the Vanguard was doing. It's kind of reflex, right? If you're driving a battleship or a cruiser and a carrier's trying to drop on you, unless it's dive bombers perhaps, you probably turn into the drop. I do get one into the bow, and I use the hills here to kind of provide me a little bit of cover from AA. Changing altitude and everything throws off some of the flak bursts, as I'm going to get at least one more run out of the squadron before I have to pull it off the board. So again, the flak's not making a huge impact here because I'm changing altitude as I come in for the drop. And we get the drop into the water before we head back to the deck to grab the rocket planes one more time. Because now I know where the Hatsu is. Put 2 more in the Duke of York. He's pretty low, but probably healing. Can't tell? Nope, not healing. Didn't see a heal going there. But we've lost him. They have managed to kill the Kiev, unfortunately. So I'm the only eyes that we have on these guys on the northern half of the map. Now, one of the things that I didn't realize until later that I should have done was probably drop a fighter back here, just to keep everything spotted, just in case. But I don't do that. I'm not really paying attention to fighters anymore because, well, the other carrier's dead. Now, this Duke of York, once again, I'm bringing in a rocket strike. He turns his bow to me. This is where he screws up big time. If you look off his starboard side, there on the south end of the sea cap, you'll see in Massachusetts. He should never have made this play because I'm only going to hit him for about, what, 2K? Yep, 2K. But the Massachusetts chunks him for well over 12 because he turned to look at my rocket. He turned to put his bow into my rocket strike. He would have been far better to stay angled to the mass and eat the full rocket strike. Rockets are only going to tickle and maybe light a fire. Now that I know where the Hatsu is, I'm trying to ding this guy again. And we get a better salvo. Again, only 3 pens. Not a great one, but a better one. Squadron's getting a little chewed up here with all of the AA. Duke of York's mid-range AA is not terrible. And once again, we're coming in for the Hatsu. I'm trying to slow down to get this drop off. The Duke of York goes out the door. I only managed to get a couple more rockets into the Hatsu. And I taunt him back a little bit in return, since he had kind of done the same to me earlier. I pull the last rockets that I have available off the deck, but the Massachusetts secondaries take the deal, and it's a win. We managed to claw back a win, a game we were down to over 400 points, and a cap and 3 ships. So, in the end, not a great game for me. Less than 50,000 damage, not even a tremendous amount of spotting damage. However, I had a couple of interesting plays, let's say. Let's call them assists. Carrier assists, right? And was able to set some of their ships up by their reactions for some big damage. So, just because, even when you're bot, of course, I was top tier this game. I was expecting to do better. When that game match loaded, I was super excited for the MM. Didn't happen. I made a lot of dumb plays, but in the end, team managed to hold it together. I managed to, contribute a little bit, and it turned out to be a win. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there. I'll catch you next time.